Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today is episode 3 of Tea Talks. Tea Talks is a series I'm doing here on the channel where I basically just sit down with a cup of tea and I talk about different subjects and topics, even though subjects and topics are sort of the same thing. But today we are talking about perfectionism, which obviously um, I'm not that much of a perfectionism given that I sort of stuffed up there. But I am going to be having a discussion about like what is perfectionism, the different types of perfectionism, and am I a perfectionist? So let's get started. How do we define perfectionism? I would say that perfectionism obviously it's to do with being the desire to be perfect or desire to have everything perfect. I think the first type of perfectionism is to do with the physical world. So we might want the perfect house, the perfect partner, the perfect work environment. So anything that has to do with the physical world. Obviously, that also includes not wanting anything to be out of place, wanting everything to be super clean. So that's part of perfectionism. I also think the second type of perfectionism is for like everything to run smoothly, for nothing to go wrong. This might be like include like an event or or even just like now recording a video. Like if something goes wrong, like if I stuff up or I stumble on my word, I might feel the need to restart the video or refilm things. So that would obviously be perfectionism, which I tend to do a lot if I'm being honest. But sometimes if I do make a mistake, sometimes I just leave it in there because it's just that's what I do. The third type of perfectionism, which I would definitely believe applies to me, is the perfectionism in regards to time. So what I mean by this is like you have to start something at a certain time, and if you don't start something at a certain time, you have to wait for another specific time. For example, if I don't start my work at 9 o'clock, I have to wait to 9:30 to start my work because it just seems like starting my work at like 8 minutes past nine. That doesn't make sense to me. So I have to start at a specific time. And likewise, if we're talking about during the night time, if I don't get to bed before 10 o'clock, then like it's kind of like the nights like I can't really get to sleep. Like I sort of have to wait. I find that I work in tens, so like 9 o'clock, 9:10, 9:20, 9:30, 9:40, etc. Um, I can't. I don't know. I have to start at like preferably I have to start on the hour. But if I don't start on the hour, then I have to wait for like the next time ending in zero, so 9:10. If I miss 9:10, I have to start at 9:20. If I miss 9:20, I have to start at 9:30. Um, so what that basically means, I waste a lot of time waiting for like the next time, even though like if I just started like for example, if I just started at like 5 minutes past 9 o'clock or 8 minutes past 9 o'clock, just say I miss 9 o'clock and I start at 8 minutes past 9 o'clock, then like like, why would I wait another 2 minutes or another 22 minutes or whatever it is to start my work? That doesn't make sense. In her 2012 book, Is It Just Me?, the British comedian Miranda Hart talks about the concept of New Year's resolution syndrome. So, this is basically the idea that we have to wait until like the first day of the year to start something new. Um, so, something to do, obviously, this would be part of a New Year's resolution. Now, this might be include like losing weight or just simply being fit in general, or it could be waking up early, or any of that sort of stuff, or taking cold showers, or any of this sort of those sorts of things. Um, you would have to like you have to this idea that you have to wait. You have to start on January 1st. You can't start in like on some random day. Like you can't start on like the 12th of August. You have to like start on like the first day of January. I think there are positives and negatives to this idea. So the positive being that I think starting something new on the first day of a new season, it gives you momentum to keep going. Um, But I also think the flip, like the negative side of this is that like if you stuff up, you feel the need to like you feel the need to like wait until the first day of and the first day of new like the first day of the next new season. So like the first day of the following year or the first day of the next month. Um, if you stuff up, you feel the need to like wait until the next day of the new like the first day of the next new season. And obviously that sort of that's wasting a lot of time because like if you say for example just to say you start something new on the first day of the year and get and like you stuff up on like you just to say for example you start a new diet on the first day of the year, um which is sort of a bit weird because like you've just had a Christmas, so like anyway, um you start a new diet on the first day of the year. January 5th comes around and you like have like food that you probably wasn't part of your diet or your diet plan, and you're like, oh, I stuffed up, and now I need to wait until like the next new year to start a new diet, and that doesn't really make sense, um, because like you're probably going like anytime you set out to do something like losing weight or anything like that, or waking up early in the morning or going to bed early, um, you're going to have days where you stuff up. You're going to have like you're going to eat things that you're probably not supposed to eat. You're probably going to like go to bed some nights a bit too late. Sometimes you wake up. Sometimes you're going to sleep in. Um, and if you just start and if you decide, oh, I'm just going to wait until like the first day of the next year, the first day of the next month, well then like you're wasting a whole heap of time. I think there is a difference between perfectionism and consistency. I think perfectionism is about obviously as we've discussed, like wanting to be 100%, can't be 99%, like 99%, you must will be 0%. It's a very binary way of thinking, but I think it's better to because whereas consistency is more to do with wanting to be like as close to as close to perfect as possible, as close to 100% as possible. So for example, like 95%. I just give an example. So right now, I'm currently doing a 6 month self improvement challenge called the Ugly Duckly 180, and part of this challenge is that I need to implement self improvement habits every day, or that's part of the goal. But I think there needs to be. And by the way, I'm only on day 5. I've already made like quite a few mistakes. I've already like I've woken up a little bit later. I already going to bed later than I should. So I've already stuffed up, but I'm not gonna like say, oh, I'll just restart next month, or I'll just restart the challenge next year. That would be stupid. Rather than, I think it's better to focus on, getting back on the bad work and, okay, I stuffed up today, but I'm gonna try better tomorrow, and just, like going forward, I'm gonna be try and be as consistent as possible. So I think because as long as like you don't have like the goal is to like to during this challenge, even though I said every day, I think I should replace every day with most days because I don't think it's not realistic for me. Knowing me, it's not realistic for me to say, you know what, for the next 6 months, everything has to be perfect, or like I have to do everything perfectly every day for the next 6 months. It just doesn't really. That's just unreliable. Whereas I think the goal is for most days I want to wake up early. Most days I want to go to bed early. Most days I'm gonna take a cold shower most days. I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna hydrate most days. Oh, I mean, I probably should hydrate every day, but I'm gonna, uh, do all the habits most days. I think that's just a better way of looking at things rather than saying like, oh, I need to. And I think that's just a better way of looking at things rather than saying, oh, I need to be 100% all the time. It's just not realistic. Um, So as long as I get like, if I can get aim to be like have like a 90%, 95% of, if I can achieve like 95% for this self improvement challenge, and I think that like that's good enough for me. As long as as long as those days where if I'm sleeping in or I'm going to bed late, as long as those days are very few, like it's still okay to have those days, but as long as those days are very few and they don't come up, and like most days, like the majority of days are like are like the are good days, then I think that's a better way of approaching things. But it also ties back to what I was saying about momentum, because if you wake up early, if you start your day off right, I think it does like set like you you're more likely to have a better day if you start the day off right. But I also think like I do have this mentality where like if I sleep in or anything, like I'm like, oh well, the day's already ruined, so I might as well not do anything, or like I might as well just, you know what I mean? Like it's just like I might as well not do any bother anything else. And I think that's where my perfectionism sets me up for failure. Where I just like if I have a bet if I start off bad, like I just won't I can't really turn myself around. And I think that's something I really need to like turn myself around about. Where like if I stuff up on the first day, or if I stuff up on the if I stuff up even if I have a good start, but then like, later on I stuff up, I'm like, oh okay, it's already ruined. But I think I sort of just need to make sure that I'm being focused more on consistency rather than perfectionism. I think that's just a better way of approaching things. So to answer the question, am I a perfectionist? Yes. In certain regards, I definitely think I'm a perfectionist in regards to time, and also in regards to like not things not going right. But I don't think I'm a perfectionist in terms of the physical world. Um, but let me know what you think. Do you think I'm a perfectionist? Do you think you are a perfectionist? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, that's all I have to say on the subject of perfectionism. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.